Hi guys and girls, this is your friendly music teacher here, Mr. Blair. It's nice to be able to talk at you, I guess, and teach you a little bit. I hope you're doing well during quarantine. These are just some lessons I'm going to do here and there about just some basic music theory and how to read it and how to really just understand it. So if you've always wondered, like, what are all those lines and dots and weird symbols going on, maybe I can teach you a little bit about what they are and how to use them. So feel free to just sit back and take a listen. Hopefully you'll learn something out of it. So lesson one, we're going to talk a little bit about lines today. Okay. And when it comes to music, we have a lot of lines in written music. So here we go. Let's try it out. When we talk about music in general, we really want to talk about the staff. Okay, this is where it all starts. Music's written on a staff, which are just those 5 lines and 4 spaces there. Okay, so 5 horizontal lines and 4 spaces in between. So pretty much when anything is counted in music, like staff lines or intervals, or if you even think the strings of a guitar, everything is always counted from the bottom up. Okay, so if I start on the bottom line right here, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4. So pretty simple. But I'm going to give you a little exercise that you can just do at home. Okay, a little memory exercise to help you out a little bit. So it might feel a little silly, but learning with your body, it works so much. And it's what I try to do in all of my music classes and lessons. I really think if you are getting engaged with the body, with the mind, with your brain, everything at once, you're going to learn and you're going to understand everything a lot better. So let's try this out a little bit. I want you to take your hand, it could be your left or your right hand, and I want you to put it right up in front of your face with the palm toward you. So I don't want to see the back of your hand in front of your face, just palm toward you. What I want you to do is I want you to pretend that your fingers are the lines of the staff, because guess what? 1, 2, 3, 4. You got 5 fingers, there are 5 lines. And the spaces between your fingers, guess what? They're the spaces of the staff. Okay, so pinky is line 1, ring finger line 2, middle finger line 3, index finger line 4, and your thumb is line 5. Between your pinky and ring fingers, space 1, ring and index finger or middle finger, space 2, and so on and so forth. So what I want you to do, and this is going to help you, I want you to touch each finger and say the number of the line, and do the same exact thing with the spaces. So go right in between your fingers. Okay. This is going to help you so much because music, I always compare music to math, always, because everything builds upon itself. Okay. So the staff is pretty simple, right? Okay. A lot of music theory is like this. It's pretty easy to understand as long as you've mastered previous steps. Okay. So I always say if you're good at math, you probably are good at music. All right. That's not always true, but everything just builds upon itself. Okay. So, yay. So, what I want you to do now, okay, I just want you to go through real quick just these 5 little things, little questions, and I want you to quiz yourself. See if you understand it. If you don't understand what we just did, go back, try it again. So, pause the video real quick, go through. And now we're going to continue on with more lines. Oh, yeah. I'm excited. So, there's a lot of stuff on this slide right here. Step by step. To make music easier to read, we have to divide that staff into even more sections here by vertical lines that we call bar lines. Okay. Now there are 2 different types of bar lines. The single bar line, that's just a single thin line from top line to bottom, all right? So again, bar lines, all they do, they just divide the staff up into sections so it's easier to read. So think of them as like punctuation, okay? So each bar line is kind of like a comma, all right? You don't hear them, they're just there to help with the reading. So you don't have one huge run-on sentence going on. We don't like to see that in books, so we don't like to see that in music either. The double bar line has one single thin line with a thicker, darker line to the right of it. And what the double bar line does is it marks the end of a section or the end of a song, okay? So you're gonna find this at the very end of your music, all right? And these are just throughout them, okay? The area between two bar lines is what we call a measure, or sometimes you'll hear people call it a bar, all righty? What I always tell my students is that the measure is where the beats live. So this is their home. This is the Beats and Notes home right here. They pay rent there, they live there, they take showers there, fun times, okay? So to avoid confusion, I'm just gonna call them measures from here on out, alrighty? So this staff here that you see, it's divided into 1, 2, 3 measures, all right? Now, because some measures may have more notes in them than others, the space between the bar lines, it doesn't have to be equal, okay? So this measure might be a little longer than this measure. This one might be a little shorter than this measure. They don't have to be equal. They're just there. Again, all of this just helps out with the reading of it, okay? So we got bar lines, single bar lines, double bar lines, measures. Yay! Not so hard, okay? The last type of lines that we're going to talk about are called ledger lines. Alrighty. Now, most notes, as we know, are written on the staff, and we're going to talk about notes as we get a little further. All right. But some notes can be higher or lower than the staff can show. You might see this in like flute music or tuba music or even just vocal music. You'll see ledger lines pretty often. All right. And all it does is just extending the staff. So if I have my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines here, this is the 6th line, that's the 7th line, okay? So it just kind of keeps going, up or down, all righty? Now, the word ledger line, little history, it comes from around 1700, though the practice of writing them is a lot older. So basically just to keep music from looking cluttered, they're never used unless they're with a note. Okay, so you're not really going to see just a ledger line and that's it. Okay, you're going to see it with some sort of note attached to it. All right, so we can have really extreme versions, like you can have 6 or 7 ledger lines going up or down, which is a little, again, extreme, and we probably won't see that much. This is mainly what you're going to see if you have ledger lines in most music. Okay, so what have we got? We've got bar lines, so single bar lines, double bar lines. In between those bar lines are measures, and we have some ledger lines, okay? So not too tough. When talking about music, when you're developing that musical vocabulary that we want, you're gonna hear these terms used, okay? So you need to be sure that you know the information before you go on, because again, everything builds upon itself. Alrighty. So again, take a second, go through, see if you can answer these 5 questions here. Okay. Make your little staff, divide your staff into measures and things. See if you know what we know. All right. And that is the end of lesson 1. Not too difficult. So thank you very much for listening, and I will see you again in the next lesson. Bye.